Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Sergeant Broken Rubber from the North American server playing in the new best Tier 8 premium tank. It is the Turtle. Wargaming a month ago, as I've already showed on this channel, buffed this vehicle unnecessarily. It had one of the better win ratios of the tank destroyers, completely average, and Wargaming decided to buff the top speed limit of this tank from 20 to 25 kilometers an hour, buff the penetration of the vehicle significantly so that was no longer hindering the vehicle, buff the shell velocity, buff the dispersion when the vehicle is moving, and also this has just resulted here, and the reverse speed is what I wanted to say, which was such an important aspect of the tank for being able to pull back over a ridge line. It was definitely one of the weaknesses of this vehicle so far. And all in all, this has meant that a balanced tank has now become just outrageous. And this vehicle is now kind of like the king of sitting hull down, but not just the king of sitting hull down, because it has all of the other aspects that you need on a vehicle. Now, this has resulted in the win ratio of the Turtle skyrocketing from about 49 or 50% average win ratio up until like the 54% win ratio over the last 30 days. And even though now that all of the sweaty nerds who would jump on this vehicle to build a 3 market, their statistics have dropped off, the kind of performance in the vehicle has only gone down by a percent or so, and that's with regards to its average damage and its average combines. And so Wargaming really missed out on this one, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with regards to the sales on the Turtle next. Is this Wargaming's nefarious plan to make vehicles completely OP in a patch and then sell them and then make a load of money the next time that they do? Possibly, although I don't feel that I don't think that was Wargaming's plan with this tank. I really genuinely, at least I don't want to believe, maybe, I'm not that cynical that Wargaming would unnecessarily and outrageously buff a vehicle purely to profit to be able to make their game worse. I think that maybe they just missed it on this one. And it's why a month ago I suggested to Wargaming that it's not too late to fix it before you resell it again. As long as it's not being sold and people don't have access to it, then nobody will have bought it since it's been buffed. So Wargaming could easily just tune down the statistics of the vehicle in the next micro patch or the next hard patch, which looks like it's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks or so for the Murney event. And then all the people who already had the vehicle will still have a buffed version of the Turtle. Maybe you could just remove the top speed limit buff, but keep the gun handling buff and the penetration buff, and the vehicle would be okay. And then nobody would have bought it, which means that you're not in this problem of then the people who bought it after it gets nerfed complaining that they purchased a vehicle that is frankly better than it should be. So this has just resulted in the Turtle being this all-round force. Previously, it was just this high damage per minute tank that had to sit in a position to really gain the benefit of its tank, with poor penetration forcing it to spam gold. Sergeant Broken Rubber has done so much damage this game so far that they've actually run out of their regular rounds, now having to dip into the gold rounds on the tank. And with the top speed limit buff in this vehicle, when you also combine it with something like a bounty turbo that you see Sergeant Broken Rubber using here, that means that the tank can kind of just drive around at 30 kilometers an hour without having any true power to weight ratio issues, even, as I should say. So, like, this tank, it's just sickening. And I guess if there's one good thing about this vehicle so far, is that while we have seen the amount of players playing this tank in the last 30 years quadruple, I believe, compared to what it was previously, it hasn't become, shall we say, the Borask, where it's in pretty much every single game of World of Tanks. But that may change the next time it's sold, because maybe it wasn't popular previously because of its balanced statistics and fairly boring gameplay. I would argue that it still has pretty boring gameplay. This isn't the kind of tank that I personally would want to play again and again and again. But when its statistics are so outrageous, and it's giving people such above average win ratio, then it's kind of undeniable that there will be players out there who aren't necessarily playing tanks for fun, or maybe they're just playing the vehicle because it's giving them outrageous results. Or maybe the fact that they're getting outrageous results is fun in itself. No judgment, you know. look, everyone can play the game for different reasons. Some people want to be playing kind of like freaky tanks and trying to have good games in them, and some people want to be playing the best of the best to see where they can get with the vehicle. And Sergeant Broken Rubber, who is clearly an exceptional player here, is showing the enemy team why the Turtle is not a tank to be trifled with. So, IS-6 not quite cresting over the ridge. Sergeant Broken Rubber has a quick look to his left to see if he's going to be getting engaged by anyone, but it's only really the FV-201 who could possibly be there. And with such good upper hull armor, all Sergeant Broken Rubber has to do is to get this IS-6 to bounce, or alternatively get the IS-2M to tank a shot for him, and then he can maintain his hit points to be able to handle the rest of the game. A sneaky shot into the side of the IS-6, with the IS-2M on their team following it up with a bit of a distraction play, and that should allow the Turtle to be able to finish off the lower plate of the IS-6. Now with 13 gold rounds left on the tank and 3,400 hit points on the enemy team, Sergeant Broken Rubber has to be a little bit careful. But oh yeah, this vehicle also gets pretty darn good HE rounds with 54mm of pen and 430 damage, which would mean that this tank's damage per minute kind of goes up to the 4,000, high 4,000 marks when you are able to penetrate those HE shells as that 1375 found. And it's just, this tank is meant to be flankable. It's meant to be a tank that you can run away from when you see it lurching towards you, but it's just not happening anymore. The Progetto misjudged what a Turtle driving downslope at 37 kilometers an hour is able to do with regards to pressure. However, the Progetto did put a shot there into the lower plate of Sergeant Broken Rubber, which means that even though they're up to 7,200 damage in the first 7 minutes of this game, picking up 9 frags on the enemy team, Sergeant Broken Rubber has to just, oh my word, it's a full health FV that's using a durability device. I mean, there's only so much you can lick your lips when you're playing a tank like this. And just witness this. This is a gun rammer, a premium consumable, 2,900 base damage per minute, and it's just making a full health tier 7 disappear. Now, a lot of tank destroyers would do that, but not many in the kind of rate that the Turtle just advanced their damage game up to 8,500 nearly that we've seen. Sergeant Broken Rubber demonstrating why this is now just the all-purpose ridge line tank. It's an absolute monster of the battlefield. Now, it's Sergeant Broken Rubber trying to harvest an artillery at the end of the battle with a full health Super Pershing. I mean, I'm not even sure if Sergeant Broken Rubber even broke a sweat in this game. Possibly, as they managed to put an HE shell into the GW, raise the gun at the end of the game, cementing just an epic victory with over 9,000 combined in this 8-minute round of World of Tanks. And with results like this, it should be unsurprising why, in the last 30 days, the Turtle is now packing a 54.48% average win ratio on the European server, which is, albeit still 1% worse than the BZ176. But also remember that a lot of those players will be new-ish to the Turtle, just playing it as its flavor of the month, whereas the BZ176 players have probably been playing it sweatily since they got it 10 months ago in loot boxes. And so, if Wargaming doesn't sell the Turtle, I only see those statistics in the Turtle maturing as new players to the flavor of the month tanks get all of their field mods and perfect the tanks, albeit quite low skill cap playstyle. So once again, I'm really interested in the predicament that Wargaming have got themselves into. They've clearly overbuffed a tank. Next time, are they going to choose to monetize it? And if they do, should you pick one up for yourself? Well, I'll tell you, the Turtle doesn't have the most exciting gameplay, but it is a very efficient tool for harvesting the enemy team. Sometimes, when you just want credits, this might be the tool for the job, at least in a nice matchup. Let me clarify that the Turtle, when it's against tier 9 and tier 10 tanks, especially those that are firing gold rounds, really does start to struggle, unless it's in the hands of a good player who knows how to play that support role and to catch those all-in engagements. So, Sergeant Broken Rubber made a broken mess of the enemy team here, getting 2,509 base experience. That is pretty much double what a previous ace tanker of the Turtle was, destroying 2/3 of the enemy team single-handedly, 8,800 damage is going to clearly net them a high caliber. And with the newfound mobility, it's not just the steel wall-esque armor on this tank that was able to block twice its hit points that the enemy have to be concerned with Sergeant Broken Rubber making 180,000 credits profit even after resupplying premium consumables at full cost and 106,000 credits of ammunition. This tank truly has become the ultimate assault tank destroyer. So, Sergeant Broken Rubber, thank you so much for uploading your epic game on the What Replays website and also putting QB in the title so I know that you want to be featured. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I hope all of you out there enjoyed this video as well. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And I also noticed that Sergeant Broken Rubber has their own YouTube channel with currently 1 subscriber, which I'm gonna double now. And I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to go and check out some of their epic gameplay. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Friday, I'm gonna be going live all day on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby, giving you brand new loot with the Twitch drop. So come along, check out some epic games and get some more tokens so you can either get a tier 5 premium tank for free or buy some things like premium time or 5 times experience games. So as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.